So this has also the effect of strengthening our refuge. For those who have taken refuge in the Three Jewel, looking for the help of the Dharma, the help of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the three times, when we realize the amount of negativity we have accumulated in the past, we can only but rely even more on the Three Jewel. Because whatever mistake we have done in the past were done often against the advices that we received from spiritual guides, against what is advised to be done by the Dharma. It's a little bit like somebody extremely sick who does not want to hear the advices that the doctor is giving. It can lead to committing a lot of mistakes. In the same way, we have committed mistakes. We have accumulated negative karma. And now, strengthening our wish to practice more, strengthening our understanding of going for refuge, our practice becomes stronger. So whatever negativity we might have accumulated in the past, we confess them. Confession is Buddhism. In Buddhism is not by going into a little box and to say all the mistakes we have done to a priest. Confession is to be done individually between us and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So it can be done every day. It can be done several times a day. It is included in our practice. It's not something that comes once upon a time. Oh, I remember that I should confess. No. If you take a text like the Gananagyama or many other practices, you have included this confession part. So when you reach this moment of confession in this practice, take it really at heart. The stronger your remorse, the stronger also the purification process is engaged. In the same way that we tend to live our life thinking that death is a very far end, very far conclusion of this life, we tend to think that whatever negativity we have accumulated either will not give much result or small result or much later. This is of course fooling ourselves. Yes. We know very well, logically, that we can die in 5 minutes, in 1 hour, in 1 day, in 1 year. Any time death can come upon us. No? So why do we live like if we would never die? Because we like to be unconscious of the reality. In the same way, whatever negativity we have accumulated in the past will come to bring results. The result of negative karmas is suffering. Do we like that? Do we want that? Didn't we have enough already? So the way to avoid suffering is to purify the negative karma before this karma comes to result. And since the result can be in 5 minutes or 10 minutes and so on, it's important to engage mentally at least as often as possible into the practice. Practice of purification, practice of confession, practice of generating merits. And among the practices of accumulation of merits is the practice of offerings. So every single time we drink something, we eat something, we see something nice, we observe something pleasant, let's offer it. And not offer it just as one sample of cup of tea, but hundreds of thousands of cup of tea and more, even if you don't have them in your hand, cookies which could go with a cup of tea, and so on. These extensive offerings that we can create at any time is bringing a very positive state of mind and is accumulating merits. So let's use any opportunity to generate this state of mind. Instead of letting the mind wandering into desire, attachment, or hatred, or jealousy, as we tend to just let it go, let's focus it on what creates positive karma, what's helped the path we are on. So anytime we have left with our mind beside the practices or beside the actions, beside the work that we have to do, let's use it for the greater benefit. It doesn't cost much to enter into this practice. At the moment you have a cup of tea, a coffee, chocolate, whatever, and you sit on the sofa or on the chair, instead of letting the mind just wandering into useless, if not negative thoughts, let's just think about the cup that we have, multiply the content, and offer that content to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It takes a few minutes to accumulate an amount of merits which is incalculable. At the end of the last verse of this chapter, which is verse 65, it is written, "O protector, may I not commit this evil again." And this is also, of course, part of the work. Whatever I have done, I regret, I confess, I work on it. But if I continue to accumulate negativity day after day, what is the point of it? So if we decide to work on the negativity we have accumulated, let's constantly and with the same strength work also with the negativity that we potentially accumulate constantly. With that awareness, we make the wish to counteract the negative patterns that we have by engaging in proper meditation, proper practice, better perception of the mind, better control of the mind, so to do not create any further negativities. So remember that the point of this chapter, the point of remorse, is not to be stressed out of it, is not how to be scared or to be depressed, but to take the right, to generate the right awareness and to do not let our minds wander as usual, creating potential negativities, but to use all the time that we have left to accumulate merits, purify also the past accumulated ones. So the text itself has nothing again about generating guilt, but generating the proper motivation to engage into the practice as swiftly as possible.